This is a beautiful college football setting. The sun's shining. The tailgaters have made their way inside DATCU Stadium. And we're ready for a matchup nobody circled in August. I'm your host, Nathan Johnston, alongside co-host Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, Denton, Texas, home of the Mean Green, the North Texas Mean Green, take on the number 24 USF Bulls. First time that the USF Bulls have been ranked in quite a while, from what I remember. And both of these teams come in very high expectations, both for the AAC. Brad, I got to ask you, did you ever think we'd be talking about undefeated North Texas as a legitimate AAC contender with college football playoff implications?
At the point we are now, I mean, they've been a very, very good team the past couple of years. But, Nate, when starting quarterback Chandler Morris transferred to Virginia, I thought you would see a significant drop-off, and they haven't. I mean, this is a team that's playing extremely, extremely well. I really, really like what the Mean Green have done. They run a super, super exciting offense, and they're undefeated at this point. So I think they were kind of a little bit of an afterthought in the AAC, especially with Tulane, with USF, with some other teams. But they are going to be a serious contender for that spot in the playoffs. So
it's crazy.
A big, this is a playoff implication game on Friday night.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Friday night. This is a great matchup for these two teams. Prime time. No other there are other college football games on, but this is going to be the one to watch. Jake and I will be live, boots on the ground, break the huddle after dark for another episode. We'll try not to get copywritten this time. We look at a North Texas team, the Mean Green Machine, as they call them. They come into this game 5-0 for the first time since 1959. Brad, I read in an article, they've already canceled classes on Friday at noon, and they are starting a party on campus very early for this one. They're pumped. I almost think if this was a Saturday matchup, I would have liked to see college game day go there.
It would have been fun for sure.
It would have been a really nice change of pace for game day, and these fans would come out swinging. Yeah. A key stat to remember for North Texas, 44.8 points per game right now. They've scored 50-plus points in 2 games, and they've never scored under 33 points. Again, biggest quarterback matchup, in my opinion, this week. You look at a quarterback like Drew Mestamaker. Love this guy. Love the name. 67% completion rating, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You can say what you want about their schedule, Brad. Look, they're going against even competition in their conference at their level of play. From walk-on to star, I got to ask you, Brad, Mestamaker's video game numbers, are they real or are they inflated by the schedule so far?
You could probably say a little bit of both. This is an offense that they do throw the ball all over the field. And I do think to an extent that, they've been helped out with a little bit of a fortunate schedule. But look, Nate, a guy that has not turned the ball over and he's in his redshirt freshman season, that's still very, very impressive. And taking over for a guy like Chandler Morris, that's nothing to scoff at, and that has really, really got my eye. You mentioned it's a very, very good quarterback matchup, and Drew's gonna be he's gonna be put in a spotlight. This is the biggest game of his career, and we're gonna find out what he's made of. I think he's gonna do well. He's big, he's accurate. I think he's gonna continue to grow. But I think for South Florida, they're going to look to get him off his game plan. They're going to look to force him into some mistakes Friday night.
Yeah, and speaking of showing what you're made of, let's talk about the South Florida Bulls here for a second. They've been battle-tested this year, Brad. They come into this game 4-1 with their only loss. I believe it was on the road at Miami. And so they come out swinging early in the season. No one expected them to beat Boise State. They blow them out. It wasn't even close. And everyone's thinking, oh my gosh, what happened to Boise State? Then South Florida goes and takes on Florida, beats them with a last-second field goal. Could have gone either way with the penalty situation there with the guy spitting in the other guys. And you can't do that. They still capitalized on mistakes. And look, there's a lot of football teams that have opportunities to capitalize on mistakes, and they don't. They did. And so here they sit, 4-1, number 24 in the nation. We talk about their offense, and you know the guy very well, quarterback Byron Brown. This is an electric offense to watch. This is a guy that we've been paying close attention to throughout the season so far. Granted, they've had more opportunities on the national spotlight than North Texas, but they are a team to look out for as well in the AAC and the college football playoff in the Group of Five. I want to get your thoughts on this quarterback, Brad, and USF as a whole. I want to get your thoughts on the coaching situation there and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Alex Golesh. Of course, he runs this Tennessee offense. They're going to try to get as wide as possible, take shots downfield. But Nate, something that stands out to me that's just a little bit different about his offense versus what we've seen at Tennessee and what here at Tennessee. Byron Brown's a true dual threat. He's a huge quarterback. He's their leading rusher. He is a very, very powerful runner, and he gives them that dimension to where if you were just massively overplaying the passing game with those wide splits, they're going to run QB zone, they're going to run QB power, and they're going to kill you on the ground. And it's made this offense very, very tough to stop. Florida struggled with it. Miami shut them down, but USF still had some moments. We've seen, you mentioned huge upset against Boise State. Boise State had trouble. USF put up, I believe it was in the 50s last week against Charlotte. So Alex Golesh has got this team just cruising. Nate, one final point before I turn it back over to you. I think he is a guy that he's going to get some big-time offers at the end of the year.
Yeah, along with a few other guys that we saw really shine at the coordinator position this past weekend. We won't get into that for now. But, Brad, I want to ask you a follow-up question to USF. They came out early, elite, right? As we said, they beat Florida. Yeah, they lose to Miami. I don't think many teams, if any team, is going to beat Miami at this point in the season. Then they sprung some leaks late versus Charlotte. I got to ask you, do you think this battle-tested team and schedule gives them the edge, or do you think they've had to kind of unload the playbook a little bit more than some of these other teams, and it maybe exposes them on Friday night?
No, I don't think so at all. And I mean, I think part of the reason, the Charlotte game, they were up so much. I think, they were definitely playing some backups. They were definitely trying to get some young guys in the game. Look, I mean, just the 3 games, Boise State, Florida, Miami, we've talked about that several times here. You said it, this is a very, very battle-tested unit. They've already played in some big moments, and, we're about midway through the season. I think it gives them a pretty sizable advantage Friday night, and I think that's going to come into play. I think you could see North Texas, a little bit wide-eyed and stark-eyed, because no disrespect, but this is a step up in competition that they're taking on Friday night.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue. When you look at the strength of schedule and analytics, the reality check sets in for North Texas very quickly. Their strength of schedule ranks 132nd out of 136 teams. The teams they've beaten: Lamar, Western Michigan, Wazoo, Army, a decent team, South Alabama, decent team, but they haven't had the level of competition that USF has had, and yet the USF has been able to hang with the big boys outside of Miami, like we discussed. And then you look at USF's strength of schedule, top 40 range, according to ESPN.com. The analytical contrast, Brad: North Texas plus 58 yards per game margin versus soft schedule versus USF's minus 27 yards per game versus power teams. Brad, if North Texas pulls this off, does it make them legit for their 5-0 start, or does it just tell us USF wasn't ready for the spotlight on Friday?
Absolutely not. If the Mean Green are able to pull this one off, this is a legit team, and this is a team that, I would say outside of UNLV, they're the favorites to get in the college football playoff for that Group of Five spot. This a win here, and they're on the map. They're in the top 25. Everyone in the country knows they're for real.
Yeah, and I think that's something to keep an eye on moving forward, regardless of who wins this game. You got these 2 teams. You've got UNLV. You've got a couple of Group of 5 teams separating themselves from the pack very quickly, and this is an opportunity for North Texas to step up and say, hey, we're legitimate too. And that's the word I was trying to say. But Brad, when you look at this historical narrative, compare this game to UNT's landmark win, 2008 at Arkansas, 2017, the drive versus UTSA. Remember how good that team was back in 2017. 2021, rain win versus UTSA, a tough, gritted out performance. And we know how really good that team was back in 2021 for UTSA. This feels like one of those program-defining moments in Denton. We've talked about it throughout this episode. Brad, my final question to you is, who wins Friday night and why? The Cinderella Mean Green or the battle-tested Bulls?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the South Florida Bulls Friday night, Nate. Love North Texas, love what they're doing. I just think there's a little bit more offensive firepower from South Florida. I think they're a little more battle tested. I'm going to give them a slight advantage offensively. I'm going to give them the slight advantage defensively as well. Look, Boise State is a physical offense to defend. DJ Lagway in Florida is not playing great right now, but you still defeated them on the Swamp, and you learned a lot about yourself facing Carson Beck in that Miami offense. I think just plain and simple, South Florida is the better team on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be very, very close. I think it's going to be super high scoring. Give me the Bulls in a very, very close one, though.
North Texas favored by 1, or excuse me, the line has shifted now. USF favored by 1. I think it might have been in favor of North Texas to start out yesterday before reading this, but either way, this is a coin flip game. Denton, Texas, obviously home field advantage for North Texas. I don't think it compares to the home field advantage that Florida and Miami have, but those fans are still going to be ready to party. And listen, if they win, they will storm the field. I'm going to take the USF Bulls simply for this one reason, and that's Byron Brown. When you look at a college football matchup like this, you have to ask yourself, okay, put aside all the other games, because schematically, who lines up better against each other, right? Because you can look really good against Florida and get exposed against Miami. And then you can look really good against Boise, but get exposed by North Texas. It's not just the level of competition. It's all schematically. And when I look at these two teams, I got to give the edge to USF. And you talk about their defense as well. I mean, man, they're just electric. They're flying all over the field. I remember watching the first game versus Boise State. They shut them down from the very first play. And I believe they're going to do that Friday night's game as well. Jake and I will break it down for you live here from Break the Huddle Studios. Comment your score predictions down below. Let us know what you think about this matchup, and we'll see you next week. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help us to reach 1,000 subs. We're halfway there, over halfway there. We'd love your support. We appreciate all the support so far. We'll see you next week. It's time to Break the Huddle.